live.
Look, you already know.
Going live. We live. We live on YouTube, actually.
Hey, YouTube.
Hey. And shout out to anybody listening on any of the audio platforms. It is the Mina's House podcast, episode 183. I'm Mina SayWhat.
I'm Shana B.
Garnett Briscoe.
Welcome. Woo! We all have been out and about.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just glad that we can make it here together. Shayna's been in a different country.
Well, apparently I'm outer space right now. You know, so me and Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, we all up here, checking it out for y'all.
I just came back from Nashville. Garnett, you've been in New Jersey, right?
Yeah, that's it. Shaking and moving, baby. Shaking and moving.
Yo, let me tell you, I went to Nashville for the opening of the National African American Museum of Music.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd never been to Nashville. And Nashville is a vibe. Like, people need to go to Nashville. And when I think of Nashville, I'm like, oh, it's country. It's definitely country, but it's definitely a vibe. Like, you're gonna hear country music everywhere downtown, and the food is banging. Like, there's live music everywhere. I don't know half the songs, but I didn't even care because there was liquor flowing and good food, good pizza. They have this thing called hot chicken, where it's literally hot chicken, like hot as in spicy. So they have this scale of spice, and you could tell them what you want on the scale of spice. And you can get everything from mild to hot. Hold on, let me look up the picture.
Probably got Inferno, something. I don't.
Yes, that's you see, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so they here's the picture from the actual the restaurant, right?
Okay.
So on the bottom, you see it says hot scale. So they have plain, light, mild, medium, hot, X hot, XX hot, and then triple X hot.
Mm-mm.
So there was no way I was doing the triple X hot.
That sounds like a bathroom problem right there.
That sounds like that show, that sports show where they have people eating them hot wings, the athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, so I had the best time, y'all. Y'all need to go to Nashville. I never thought I would say that, but Nashville is popping.
I've never been, but I've heard nothing but great things about Nashville. Nothing but great things. So
yeah, I mean, I didn't see a lot of people of color, but it was still fun.
Right.
I heard it was a pretty big college town as well.
It is. I know a lot of people of color that went to college here, and that's why they love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a grand time. So I encourage everybody to go there and go on a little strip, Broadway. It's like how Bourbon Street is in New Orleans or South Street is in Philly. Broadway in Nashville is that same kind of vibe. Craziness. They have these tours going around. One tour is being there's a tractor that's like driving people around. A tractor in the middle of the street with the cars, only in Nashville, right? There's another tour where there's a hot tub and people are literally touring. They're touring Nashville, sitting in a hot tub. I saw a strip club inside of a bus. Like, there was literally poles and strippers in a bus. I was like, yo, Nashville is wild.
That's crazy.
I'm going to take you, Shana.
Yes, we should definitely go. We would have fun.
Hot girl summer. Okay.
We out here. We waxing backs. So let's get into what's in our feed, because there's a lot to talk about. Hopefully Dexter will join us. He's having some Zoom issues. But Trick Daddy, in a Clubhouse conversation, was talking about Beyonce and R&B, and he said that Beyonce cannot sing. However, he did say that Beyonce is to R&B what Jay-Z was to New York rap. So obviously in New York rap, Jay-Z, when Biggie died, Jay-Z was the guy, I mean, Jay-Z or Nas, arguably, whatever, they had that beef. But the whole Beyonce can't sing thing kind of didn't strike people the right way. The Beehive is mad. But I started to think, can Beyonce really sing? Like, is Beyonce a singer or is she an entertainer? We need to have that conversation.
She's actually both, and she's one of the few. So I would just put her in entertainer category if it wasn't for the moments that she takes, because people do think she's just a performer, entertainer, and she takes moments generally. And I've been to almost every Beyonce concert, or even the ones I ain't been to. I watched on like live from the Wembley and all them. I watched online, but she takes those moments to really sing, like really sing a song like Ave Maria, really sing, because she does want people to understand that she can actually sing. And that's the thing is, I'm like, if you know anything about Beyonce and know her father was, which is how she was more the front runner, not just because Matthew was her dad, like the vocal, like when he says she has vocal coaches, okay, like there's nothing wrong with that, like making your voice stronger. And I think she has. I think she's made it stronger than when like Destiny's Child was first out. But I think that's why she takes those moments and opportunity to purposely not dance and sing. So it's like, y'all need to understand I can sing. You know what I mean? So when he said that, I'm like, well, I don't get the knock on her having a vocal coach, because that's just like anything else. Again, you a public speaker, you can get a public speaking coach. Like, I just don't, I don't understand what the knock was like, that she's different, or he was making it seem like it brought her down a notch because she needed a vocal coach. And again, that could just be, I have this skill, but I want to be better at the skill I have. It doesn't mean I don't have it.
Right.
Yeah.
How about you, Garnett? Like, as a guy, you know, just listening to Beyonce's music, does she strike you as a singer?
Of course, yeah. I looked at that statement. I respect Trick Daddy for everything he means to the South and what he brought to, the game and stuff like that. So his opinion, is valid in a sense, but I don't agree with it at all. I do believe Beyonce can sing. I think that's, almost laughable in the sense. Now, will you rank her probably the greatest singer of all time?
Right. No.
Maybe not. Everybody can't have a voice like Fetty Wap. Come on now. So everybody can't be Big Fetty. But yeah, I mean, of course, I mean, she's been groomed as a child to be able to do this. And like Shana was saying, basketball players have shooting coaches all the time. That don't make them less of a shooter. That just means that's somebody that's practicing their craft. That's it, because there's always room to improve. But she showcases her talent day in and day out, album in, album out, performance in, performance out. That, yeah, she can sing, she can blow. She lets everybody know that, where you can't put me in a category with this woman, because I can turn the music off behind me and do it myself. And then on top of that, she's a complete entertainer, like Shana was saying. It's not too many things bad you can say about Beyonce. She may not be the greatest singer of all time, but yes, she can sing, and she does that very well. I do think that, maybe his standpoint, because he said something about Jay-Z as well, talk about, not being one of his greats. I think, some of the older down South rappers that had to fight so hard, or just musicians period, had to fight so hard to get their name up or get the South recognized, that sometimes they have to slight other people in order for them to big up people from down South or from where they're from, because they did have to work hard. They were overlooked a lot of the time. So I think some of that is probably from that, where he probably knows a girl or here or two that he thinks that can sing better than her, but never got the shot, or only did background singing. So yeah, man, this is crazy. She's one of the greatest of all time. Like you can't front on her with that at all.
You know what? I think I'm somewhere in the middle between both of you guys. I don't think Beyonce was always a singer. When she started with Beyonce, I don't, to me, just because you can carry a tune doesn't mean you're a singer. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when she first started with Destiny's Child, I think, she was singing, but I definitely think that her singing ability has gotten better throughout time. Mm-hmm. When she first got on the scene, she wasn't like a singer in my head. She was more so like a part of a group and an entertainer. Could she sing? Yes. But there's a difference between being a singer and being able to sing. Does that make sense? Like Aretha Franklin is a singer. You know what I'm saying? Like Patti LaBelle, she's a singer. You know what I'm saying? They're singers. It's like a different level. I think Beyonce has worked up to a level where she is getting there, but I don't think she's always been there. I think that she started off singing, and being an entertainer, which Rihanna did as well. You know, when Rihanna first started, I think her vocal abilities are a lot better now. But when she first started, she didn't seem like a singer to me. She was an entertainer that could sing.
I still think Rihanna's an entertainer, and I love her. I just don't think she's a singer. I love her. I just still don't think she's a singer.
Yeah, I mean, and again, you know, I think, you know, I mean, she's definitely better than what she used to be.
Yeah.
You know, like even Needed Me or some of the, you know, later songs where she worked on her vocals a little bit more. You could tell that she's been working with a coach. But I do think Beyonce can sing. I just don't put her in the category as Patti LaBelle, or you know what I'm saying, or Aretha Franklin, or Toni Braxton, or Mary J. Blige, or some of these powerhouse R&B vocals that we've had. You know, I don't put her in that same category, but I wouldn't say she can't sing. Like for him to oversimplify it, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't say Beyonce can't sing. She can sing. She's just not, in my opinion, she's not a singer, you know? And by singer, I mean like you go, you know, like again, the name people I just named, the Toni Braxtons, the Mary J. Bliges, the you know, those people with those iconic, you know, strong vocals.
I will agree with you on some of those. Now, I think she's a better singer than Mary J. Blige. But the funny thing about some of those people are they don't, although they give us entertainment, they're not really entertainers. Like they just sing. Like that's what they do. They just sing. And I think for her to have mastered both is really an art, because there's not too many people that can do both. You have these people that can just entertain you, and then you have these people that can just sing. And it's very hard to find the people that can do both. Mm-hmm. Like I'll never forget, and not that it's about her, but even Lady Gaga, I didn't know that she could really sing, because we used to her just entertaining and being a performer. But she did the same thing. I felt like Beyonce, she started taking out the time, like, oh no, y'all gonna respect this voice right here and not think I'm just a gimmick. I can actually sing, you know, and like I say, it's very, but then they also got to go with what sells, and sometimes the entertainment pushes more than their vocal ability, which is again why I feel like Beyonce takes those moments to just sing. Yeah.
And I don't want the Beehive to take this any kind of way, because they're already attacking Trick Daddy.
I'll get you.
They give it 1 star.
Mina, you is a Beehive member, and you already know.
No, I love Beyonce. I adore Beyonce. I think she's so incredible. She's the greatest entertainer of our time, period. I mean, it's between her and Chris Brown, but I think she really beats out Chris Brown. I think Chris Brown is like a close second. But when we're talking about vocal range, that's all we're talking about. Because I started to think, does he have a point? You know, can Beyonce sing? Yes, but she's not the best singer, as you stated, Garnett. You know, she doesn't have a Patti LaBelle voice. You know what I'm saying? Like these people that are there, they like, you literally are brought to tears with the power of their voice. You know, she's not that kind of singer. Just vocally, her music touches me. I've cried to a lot of her music, but you know, vocally, in my opinion, just don't think that she's the best singer. Just me personally. But she can sing.
Okay, let's clean it up.
I wouldn't say she can't sing.
Clean it up before the Beehive come.
What?
That's to clean it up before the Beehive come.
No, and that's why I keep trying to say it's not that she can't sing. She's not the greatest singer, though. She's not a powerhouse vocalist. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sitting there like, oh my God, did she hit that note? Or, you know, I'm not. I've been to 1,000 Beyonce concerts. Not really. I've probably been to like 5. But yeah, I mean, I would never say she can't sing. But let's be honest. Like, think about the greatest singer in your mind. Think about it.
I already told you mine.
Who's yours?
Well, yours is ridiculous. I don't think, obviously, I don't think she's the greatest singer. I don't think she's the greatest singer, but
Fetty Wap can't sing, bro. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, got it wrong.
But who's the best singer in your mind, Shana? Best singer ever.
So it's gonna be a tie between Whitney Houston.
Whitney.
And I actually gotta say like Mariah Carey.
Mariah. So vocally, does Beyonce even sit on that? Come on, y'all.
No, but Mariah Carey definitely is not an entertainer, and Whitney Houston really wasn't.
Right. So that's just the separation I'm trying to make here, y'all. I'm not trying to say Beyonce can't sing. I'm just saying that she's not the best singer. You know what I'm saying? And for, it's an oversimplification to say she can't sing, because she clearly can. But I think her entertainment abilities are a lot better than vocally what she can do range wise. And she has gotten better at that.
And he tried to make her out to be like, I don't know, like Fetty Wap. Like she said, like he tried to like diminish her to like she is one of the horrible people that try out for American Idol, or The Voice, the way he was coming at her. Like it definitely, like Dex said, or Garnett said, I don't know if it was driven from Jay-Z hate, but it was something deep within here that he was coming with that for.
Yeah, it was either that or some knowledge. Maybe he been in a booth with her. I don't know.
Speak to him.
Something.
Wait, and then I went on social media and people were like uploading clips of Beyonce singing, and it didn't make their case. I'm sorry. I was like, this is the clip you chose?
No, but did y'all see what the Beehive did to his restaurant?
Yes.
Reviews?
They
on here like restaurant. It's roaches everywhere. It's nasty. And then they got bees after they reviews. They give them 1 star. They never been there. They got nil. And you know that pulls down your overall rating when people start rating like that.
Listen, I don't want no smoke with the Beehive. I never said she can't sing. All I'm saying is she's not the best singer. And the Beehive need to be honest with themselves. You need to take a hard look internally. And if you're offended by what I've said, you need to take a hard look internally.
But I think that's an argument. He never said, if he was just like, she ain't the greatest singer in the world, people would be like, okay. Right. He was like, child can't sing.
Can't sing.
At all. He was like, she need to go have a seat. She can't sing.
No, she could sing. She's just not Mariah or Toni or Whitney. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not that. She's gotten better.
Those are like super elite names, like once in a generation type of like voices that, those are like literally gifts from God.
Right. Whitney's name was The Voice. Her nickname was The Voice, because that's how rare that came around, to your point.
And she from Newark, New Jersey. And Fetty Wap from New Jersey too.
Fetty Wap does not count. I don't even know why Garnett said
that. Yes, he do. He one of the greatest R&B singers of our generation.
Let me tell you something about Fetty Wap. I remember when his songs came out, I was like, this is a modern day love song. And people were reading me. I'm like, Fetty Wap is talking about love. Don't y'all hear the lyrics? This is love he's talking about.
We're going that deep on Fetty Wap.
All right. Moving on. T-Pain has been doing a lot. Ever since The Masked Singer, T-Pain has really I felt like he was kind of like very dormant. And then after The Masked Singer, all these things started happening for him. And in a recent interview, he actually talked about how Usher had told him that he had effed up music. Because remember, T-Pain is responsible for all the autotune that we hear now.
Mm-hmm.
And even Jay-Z was like, tell T-Pain, no, F that auto-tune because we on. Remember that lyric? Like, T-Pain came out, used auto-tune. People was pissed. Jay-Z said we on to the next from the auto-tune. Apparently, Usher in private said he effed up music for real singers because auto-tune makes it sound like you can carry a note, speaking of singing, but you can't. So I wanted to kind of talk about that. Like, did T-Pain mess up music? Because now we got all these rappers using auto-tune and all these non-singers adjusting their voice. So it sounds like they can carry a tune, but then they sing it live and they can't. Did he really mess up music?
No, that's another thing. That's like, people just hate change so much. That's like asking if Steve Jobs messed up the cell phone. No, he didn't. he innovated it and other people caught on to it. So now he changed the game for what it is. Like, some of these people wish that they had enough power to have people go in that direction. So, I mean, he made it a whole lot easier for what it is, and he made what worked for him. That's a person that was just really trying to get on, trying to make a life for himself, and he did. It's not his fault that he made it sound so good and made it seem so easy to do something that now everybody wants to follow the trend. So no, I don't think he messed it up at all. Soldier Boy gets flack for a lot of stuff as well, but now you still see it around. It's like, how do you diss somebody and then like take their whole style? So like even Jay-Z, like I can see if Jay-Z didn't use auto tune before, but he has. He's put auto tune on his voice before. So has Usher, even on some of his new albums. So it's like, how dare you go and say that, but then run and do the same thing because now it's the norm. Yeah, that's the only thing I compare it to is really the iPhone. Look at our phones. You know, they were big boxes and squares, the blocks. And Steve Jobs came through and said, man, it shouldn't be like that. I'm pretty sure that whole industry wanted to hate him too until they figured out, oh, I can make some money off of this too a little bit. I can make my business a whole lot better. So now T-Pain's actually like one of the greatest people of our generation as well.
He's like Fetty Wap.
Exactly. Exactly. He greatness. Like you can't play his music and be like, oh, this is just the worst thing ever. Like, why would he? No, he came through. He made the block hot. Like Jay-Z said, you made it a hot line. I made it a hot song. He wasn't the first person to do it, but he was somebody that innovated the game. So yeah, I really feel like, man, people hate change, especially when they aren't involved. If they were getting them same checks, I don't think they would be mad.
Yo, T-Pain walked so Fetty Wap can run.
You know what, both of y'all.
We're gonna keep this going. It's the theme today.
It's like a Fetty Wap appreciation day.
All of Fetty Wap's music is auto-tuned. Literally. Fetty Wap needs to thank T-Pain for his whole career.
And that's why I won't say he effed up music, but I do hate people like Fetty Wap that all they do is they don't feel like they can sing because there's auto-tune. And and I think it's hard because we come from like Philly, Jersey area where we got real singers. And you be knowing these people that really can sing, but then these people that can't sing but have auto-tune be blowing up.
Right.
So that's where it becomes a little but I wouldn't say he effed it up. Again, you got to do music is all about being innovative and creative and changing. So he did what worked for him. And that's a great thing. Like you said, it was a genius move for his time. So he didn't mess it up. But I do wish that people would stop using it. And people are a little less and less. It's mainly the rappers. But the rappers want to be singers. Just like they want to be basketball players.
You know what though? It's funny how people like get on like T-Pain and then like I remember as a kid listening to this song. I think it's like Zapp and Roger. And it's like
Rogers, yeah. They had the
computer love.
Yeah, that's like the original auto-tune
like,
thing.
Right. They started auto-tune. So like why y'all mad at T-Pain? The crazy part is T-Pain was saying that it put him into like a whole depression.
Oh,
like
no.
Yeah. And now people want Usher to apologize to
I should stay getting in trouble when he should just not. He stay getting caught in somebody's drama.
And imagine, to your point, Garnett, imagine telling someone they effed up music, right? And Usher, like T-Pain looked up to Usher. Like who didn't look up to Usher? Like everybody looked up to Usher. He sang, he danced. He was an entertainer, performer. And Usher was like the hottest thing moving at one point. Imagine being T-Pain and Usher, the hottest thing moving tells you that. Like, what?
Yeah.
It's like completely deflating. Yeah. Like, and I mean, he said he went into a whole depression. I mean, I hope the checks was helping him get out that depression because it don't matter what Usher tells me. If the checks is coming in, I don't care what you got to say to me. This is working.
Right.
Well, yeah, that just seemed like, it was a part of the industry, like turning their back on him in a sense. I'm pretty sure he couldn't get a verse or couldn't do this or couldn't do that when you got the biggest rapper in the game talking about we don't do auto-tune no more. It's like, yeah, that hurts. And then somebody like a legend, like you said, like Usher, where he was simply trying to be you. He doesn't have the abilities that you have, but I'm gonna do my best. Yeah, but I still don't think he's Usher.
No, T-Pain can sing. We learned that from The Masked Singer, which is irony. Yeah. You can sing and you still put auto-tune on your voice.
Right.
Right. It's creative. Yeah. Yep. He just wanted to do something different. I just thought it was funny because remember he went on that T-Wayne tour with Lil Wayne?
Yes.
I was there, y'all. I was in the nosebleeds. I was like, yes, T-Pain. So, but it's so interesting how literally, to your point, Garnett, like when new stuff comes out, people are always against it, almost like the mumble rap, right? Like everybody's like, we don't like this, or like auto tune, or whatever the next thing's gonna be. And then literally years later, people adopt it, you know? Like, I don't think Drake would be able to sing would it not be for auto tune.
Right.
You know, Drake is not the best singer, but I think maybe he's getting better, but I'm pretty sure,
like you were saying, but yeah, his range is from here to here.
right? Like,
He
I'm
probably
sure
seen a
they're
vocal
using
coach.
auto tune on that.
Right.
What you said, Shana?
I said he probably seen a vocal coach.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it seems like this is the vocal episode.
Yeah.
And I didn't even plan it this way. I just picked what I saw all up and down my timeline. So they're saying the next versus battle is going to be Toni Braxton and Mary J. Blige, 4th of July.
I saw that today.
I mean, yeah. Who said Mary? You said Beyonce. Beyonce, you said Mary don't sing better than Beyonce. You said that, Shana?
Mary got hits. I think I'm talking about vocal ability. I love Mary J. Blige. Like Mary has sung my life story. I was just talking about just the vocal ability and the range. But that versus, I was like, I can't even do that now on the 4th of July because I'm gonna need to be home.
Right. Tony's gonna go be like, she gonna
wear something real sexy, have that hair like real
right, and then Mary's gonna come out like
Mary gonna give us a dance. She gonna get on the knees, wear knee boots.
Right. Damn. Do her little Mary bop.
Yes.
Her bop is crazy. Her bop is legendary.
These are one of those that you can't even pick. First of all, I just think their catalog is so different, which is why I think I don't know. I feel like I'm going to struggle with this one a little bit. I mean, I'm excited about the vocals, but Toni's catalog is completely different from Mary's. And it's like Mary got a lot of hip hop. She's the queen of hip hop soul.
Right.
Toni Braxton is literally R&B. So that's why I was like a little conflicted because I don't know how their catalogs are going to stack up.
Yeah. Well, from what we learned so far still is that, it all depends on the artist. I mean, if as far as like we're judging wins and losses per round and stuff like that, you never know what some of these artists are going to play. But for me, I really think I'm going to go with Mary. I think she's almost untouchable. I think you have to put somebody like a Beyonce up against her if we're going round for round, song for song, as far as just playlists and stuff like that. My mom used to play her a lot growing up, like a whole bunch. So like I was just riding around the other day listening to the My Life album. Like that's you understand? Like that's really that brings back childhood memories as far as somebody that just got hits on hits on hits, like to this day, like just like super hits. I'm not I am familiar with Toni Braxton for sure. But that wasn't played.
That's like more early 90s.
Yeah.
That wasn't played as much in my household. It was played, but not as much. I definitely know songs, but yeah. So I'm a little.
You had some ratchets in your house. That's why, right?
You know where we from. You know where we from. It got to be a little ratchet, a little bit. You know what's going on. They like to dance and cook and do that stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Mary.
So here are some Toni Braxton songs, right? Just to kind of give you like a comparison of the catalog, right? Unbreak My Heart.
All right, Mina.
Say you love me again. So he wasn't man enough. Just be a man about it. Breathe again. You're making me high. You're making me high. Another sad love song. As long as I live, you mean the world to me. You are my everything.
Actually, no more songs than I thought.
Right. So it's not the catalog. It's more so, I think Mary has more hip hop inspired songs.
Well, it's to both of your points. I think to Garnett's point, I think when they get to the more current stuff is where Toni might struggle. Because not that she hasn't put albums out. Well, she did at one point wanted to retire because her songs weren't like charting like she wanted to. And I think that's where they're going to struggle when they get, out of the 90s and even at late 2000 and into more current days, Mary's gonna have some. Not that she's put out new music, but she's gonna have some more hits that are more relevant than some of Tony's.
So here's Mary, Family Affair. It go get them haters, nothing in this dancery. I won't live my life's just fine, fine, fine. Be without you, real love, and then I'm going down. I'm losing my mind when that comes on. I can't love you. What else?
Can Little Kim come out? Can Little Kim come out?
Take Me As I Am. Ooh, that song be making me cry. What else? You Remind Me. What else? Rainy Days. It's just no, that's not Mary J. Blige. That's the wrong song. No More Drama. I mean, there's so many on here. So many. Be Happy. And then these are not even the songs with the rappers on them.
No, she got hits. There's no denying. Mary got hits for days.
Yeah.
And again, Toni, I'm a Toni fan. This gonna be a tough one.
Yeah,
it really is.
She had the sauce back in the day. Go ahead.
But Toni, the one that she gonna sing and I'll be crying and she better sing it is How Could an Angel Break My Heart? Because that song, it still gets me. I don't even know why I was so young and I wasn't going through nothing and that song affected me. But now I'll be older and I was in the car one day like, then she had the Kenny G version. I was like, it's so beautiful and sad at the same time.
No, when Mary sings, just take me
as
I am, or have nothing at all. Yo, I was a little girl. I didn't know what the damn song was talking about, but I was like, someone needs to take me as I am, or have nothing at all.
You know what I would love with Mary would redo? So on Faith's first album, there was a Mary Faith, Rolls Royce was the group do-over of Love Don't Live Here Anymore. And Mary is on the original cut. Like they did it, like me and my sister was a young mother, so she's pregnant at the time, 17. We used to listen to that all the time. And then I read later in Facebook, because I think I rebought the album later, and I was like, yo, I don't hear Mary on here. And later in Facebook, she said what happened was during that time, her and Mary wound up butting heads. Like she didn't really know, but people were fueling it. Like, oh, she got the blonde hair too. Puffy trying to make her you. So Mary asked for her vocals to be removed. So then Faith had to re-record it. So if you have the original, you get it. But if you download it now, you won't get it. I would love for them to redo it because it was like the combination of both of their voices made it so dope.
And then she got You're All I Need with Method Man.
Mm-hmm.
That's my little high school song with my little high school boo, my first boyfriend. And then You're All All That I Got Is You with Ghostface. She got rapper records. Can't Knock the Hustle with Jay. Real Love with Biggie. Family Affair with Jadakiss and Fab. I mean, I Can Love You, Lil' Kim. We mentioned that. I don't know, man. We'll see how this plays out.
It's gonna be a lot of people going to Mary. A lot. I also think too, like just during that time, especially her early career, man, she got a chance to really work with some heavy hitters, like some real heavy hitters, some song producers, some songwriters that, she had samples that was getting cleared. That was like, that's just hard to compete against. It really is. That's a hard thing to go up against, man.
Yeah.
I mean, well, Toni had Babyface, but again, you're talking about different types of writers and producers, like.
That's what I'm saying. But it's like when you think about who else can go against Mary, no one can really go against Mary. So I understand why they would put Toni there because Toni has the catalog, but the quality of their music is just different. Mary's music is R&B, but it's a little bit more hip hop, and it kind of got some attitude to it. And Toni's songs are just all straight up love songs.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of edge or attitude to Toni's music.
Yeah.
Now, if you would have spliced some Tamar up in there, you definitely gonna get the edge of attitude,
Well, that might have been not on music, but just in the verses.
All right, so let's get into our topic, which stems from some drama that we saw on social media. We know that Tory shot Megan. That's still an ongoing legal situation. Initially, when this happens, the baby released a song with Megan, and apparently there was a song that the baby had done with Tory Lanez already, and he went out of his way to let people know that he didn't clear that song. So he clearly made his alliance with Megan. They dropped Cry Baby, they dropped the video and all of that, right? So fast forward maybe a year, a couple of months later, now the baby dropped a song with Tory. So people were saying some cracking jokes on social media. Someone said Tory and the baby, are similar because they both shot someone and haven't went to jail for it. And I guess it was a joke. The baby retweeted it, and it started a firestorm of Megan and the baby going back and forth. So the baby tried to make it seem like this isn't a beef. I worked with you. I worked with them. I'm not involved. So that kind of started making me think, because there's so many times where people get caught in the middle between two other people, or sometimes friends, sometimes acquaintances. In business, a lot of the times, like, say I have a problem with you, and you have a problem with that person, and I'm cool with you. It doesn't mean that I have a problem with the other person. What do you guys think about this? What do you do when your friends have problems with one another? Is it different because she was shot? So it's not even like just a beef, but it's more so of like a woman who was literally in an abusive situation where her life was threatened by a man with a gun, in a sense, and that makes it more serious. So you can't kind of flop between two sides. What are your thoughts on this?
I think that in this situation is a little different because the Megan wound up tweeting that they had a one-on-one conversation about it. And I do understand that he's claiming he didn't clear it, but I don't think that the baby didn't know that this song was going to be cleared, because again, you stopped clearing it the first time.
Right.
I think that even if it was going to happen, if you chose the clear side with her on, to your point, such a serious issue, I think that even if you said, listen, I know you're not going to be happy about this, but this is what's happening, at least the conversation, because again, when she got caught into it was, again, because of the retweet and all the jokes. So it's like, if me and you had a serious conversation, if I come to you like Mina, I come to you like Garnett, like, dude tried to rape me, like or whatever the case is. Yeah. And then you're like, you know what, I'm not going to work with him. But then I see you working with him as friends, if they really were friends. Even if you had to work with him, I guess I would just appreciate a conversation first. So I know before the world knows, kind of thing. Like, I'm not like blindsided. Like, somebody's not like, oh, Shana, go check Twitter. Mina or Garnett was like with him. Da-da-da-da-da. Like, at least I know, and the blow maybe not that hard, because I do think in that industry, it's hard, not to work with certain, well, it's not that hard, but, in their lanes, it may be hard not to do certain things, especially, coming out of COVID and with your careers. But I think a conversation would have been appropriate. And I do think that with friends, because I do have friends that be like, oh, I don't like her, but I'm like, oh, she ain't never do nothing to me. Again, based on the level of what it is, I might have to tell them like, oh, just so you know, like, I'm going, such and such going to be there, like, just so you ain't even pissed when I'm in the picture. Like, really, I told her I don't like that girl, but I don't think I've ever had.
How dare you get in a picture with her?
Yeah, but I don't think I've never had a situation like this, like where somebody was like shot or something. Because if you was, and again, Megan and the baby probably weren't friends from the beginning, but if you was really my friend, we not banging. But either level, I think a conversation should have been had, because they're such public figures. And again, maybe he wasn't thinking from that retweet it was going to become as big. But again, you do have to think everything you do has a microscope on it. So I think if he would have had a conversation with her, maybe she would have been like, she probably still would have been pissed, but it might have felt different.
He knew what he was doing. The baby's not stupid. Why would you retweet something like that? Like, yeah, come on, bro. And he does questionable things all the time. He's always in the news. You know what I'm saying? He's always like, he's either smacking someone or cursing somebody out. His boys just got indicted for shooting people. Like, he's always in something. I just don't. I think he has questionable judgment.
And I don't think he makes. That's not funny. It's not funny to say that you shot somebody and you still like, you know what I mean? Like, for him to even say, "Oh, it was a joke," like, it's actually not funny. Like, you shouldn't be trying to retweet that, because
but that's the kind of guy he is. Remember, he beat up the guy that didn't pay him, the promoter on. He's that's just who he is. Like, he thinks this stuff is funny, beating up people on social media and doing all the shenanigans that he be doing. This is a big joke to him. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and it's sad because you can't align yourself with someone. This isn't like we have beef. This is like, you shot me.
Right.
Like, it's different. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shot me. So if you're going to make a clear alliance to me, then it's disrespectful for you to go and then try to be cool with that person. Like, you should have just stayed neutral if that was the case, period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually agree with a lot of stuff that y'all just said, especially about, having that one-on-one conversation, even though, necessarily because they're probably not friends. Going back to what Shana was saying, this is like a clear indication, that they probably weren't that good of a friends, and business is business. And to him, that's how he's always going to look at it. But if you are going to have that conversation, at least be upfront and honest, because he could have had a conversation with Tori as well and found out his side of the story in order to go and work with him. But even if that's the case, maybe you do tell a friend, maybe not an associate, but you do tell a friend, hey, listen, I talked to him. He seems like a good guy. I don't know what happened between y'all, but this is where I'm at with it. I'm here to make music. I'm here to make money. I'm here to feed my family. And this is what I'm going to do. And going to Mina's point on, just a person who he's telling us he is. I don't know him personally, but, from the antics, from the incidents that we see online, his judgment is a little shaky. And, it's all because he just worried about himself. He's not caring about the next person. He's not caring about, the artists or what they got going on, because he didn't come into the game with anybody. He came in with his friends and his family, people he actually grew up with. He didn't grow up with any of these people. So, he's going to go in here, try to make his money and make it happen. But this is, to me, this is what happens when we end up playing both sides. It ends up getting messy no matter what.
Yep.
No matter what, it just ends up getting messy because you aren't being upfront and honest, and you're going back and forth, saying this to somebody else, saying this to another person. And even on the tweet, I think he's so self-centered that I don't even think he retweeted it really caring about Megan's feelings. He just wanted to let people
clearly
that he shot somebody. That's the part that was funny to him. Maybe not the other part. Like, I get that, but yeah, like, I'm a gangster, I'm a goon. This is what I really do. This is who I am, because this is stuff that he continues to push and promote out there. Like you were saying, Mina, as far as just beating people up on camera, it's like, that's a crime. That's a clear crime, and
you're a criminal.
You know what, though? I've interviewed him before. He's not nice at all. He has this arrogance about him. I mean, I think when I interviewed him, I said like a little joke, and he said something like really rude, like, and then got up and bounced. Like, when we interviewed him, he came with his artist, and I guess he was like trying to, like, have us interview his artist. And I kept trying to ask him questions, and I was like, we're trying to interview you. Like, not this artist who we don't know on your $1 million whatever label, and it's like, and he just, I don't know, he was just so rude and arrogant. And it's like, bruh, you barely, at this point, he barely has like 3 songs. Like, why would we want to come and talk to your artist who has no songs?
Right.
Like, you should be here promoting your stuff and open to having a conversation with us in this interview. But we kept trying to direct it back to him, and he was just so rude. Like, he was like, oh, it ain't about me, it's about him. We don't even know who this is. He don't even have a song. You got 2 songs. What do you like? What is wrong with you, bro? But he was so rude and just mean and arrogant. You know what I'm saying? And at the end, he just got up and bounced. He just has this, like, I don't know if it's a street thing, because I don't think it's a street thing, because I know plenty of street dudes who have morals and manners, and they treat people with respect, and they're people not to be played with. He just has this asshole kind of like demeanor, and it comes through a lot. And these are the moments where we're seeing it. People don't really know who he is. They haven't had any interactions with him. So they might not realize how much of an asshole he is. But based off that interaction with him, he's a whole asshole. And like, when I see these things on social media, they're not surprising to me, because when people show you who they are once, believe them. So I just think he's an asshole kind of guy, and he has a lot of attention right now, and he probably thinks like he could do whatever and get away with it and then wash his hands. It's almost like the person who throws the rock and then says it wasn't me. Like, you stirred up this whole situation and then try to be like, oh, well, I'm not trying to be in no beef. I'm not trying to do none of that. Like, how you going to throw the rock and then hide your hand when you were so openly blatant, to side with Megan at first? Oh, I ain't clear his song. Like, you clearly picked a side. Don't pick a side and then sidetrack and then backpedal.
And then
it's
try
just
to play victim,
corny
like
to me.
You ain't clear it. You ain't know now. Do it by. Nobody in your camp is running anything without you and clearing no music without you knowing. Bye.
Yeah, I just think it speaks to his character, really. And the more that we learn about him, the more stuff that happens. Sometimes I see like videos of him with his daughter, and he's clearly a great dad. And I don't think he's he's an all around crap guy, but he has, based off my interaction with him, he just has like asshole things about himself, and he's not polite sometimes. He's just rude. Like, just a rude, like, go over there. I don't even want to talk to you again. Goodbye. I don't care how many songs you got. I don't care how much money you have, how many hits you have. You're just a rude motherfucker. And like, you can go that way. I don't need to have a conversation with you or your artist that nobody knows about.
Well, that's the thing too, though, Mina, is that, when things start to slow down a little bit, or when you're trying to figure out your next move, you tend to make decisions that you wouldn't have made early on. We still don't know if you're gonna be here next year. Or I'm pretty sure you was thinking that as well when you were trying to interview him. It's like, hey, you only got a couple songs. Like, people do this every year. Like, you're not doing anything groundbreaking. You are a great artist so far, but it could be one and done. It could be one album and then you're out of here. So I really think when people, start to see certain things, that they start to compromise exactly who they are in certain situations in order to hang on to the longevity, whether it's, posting the drama, or, doing what he's doing in this situation, and playing both sides to try to get the most out of it for himself, not Tory Lanez and not Meg Thee Stallion. It's for himself. So
it's just a shame, because I think he's genuinely like a smart guy and he's talented. But, a lot of the times your people skills come in so important in life. It's not even in just the industry, but in life. How do you treat people? How do you talk to people? How do you carry yourself? This was my first time meeting him. I've never had a conversation with him. I've never met him. And it left such a bad taste in my mouth. So like, moving forward, like, when I see these things on social media, and also, the way that he carries himself with other people, it's not surprising to me, but it doesn't make him that like a likable person to me,
Right.
and, just because you have to treat people with respect. And I don't know why he's like that.
and and that's why I feel like 50 Cent is like such a great example, because he had like the worst persona around him, but you never hear anybody say anything bad about him.
He's never been rude to me a day in my life. And I would say 50 and the baby kind of have that same kind of like, I joke on people, or, like that same kind of persona. But I've interviewed 50 a couple of times, and never has he come off as rude or arrogant or, full of himself, or just disrespectful. Like, never. He's been on time. He's been polite. He's been a businessman.
Right.
Like, and that's really what it comes down to. And like, with this situation, it's just unfortunate, because that's kind of how, this isn't surprising to me. That's all I'm trying to say. I don't think he has the best judgment, and the way that he let this play out wasn't the best. To your point, Shana, he could have easily had a conversation with Megan, to give her the heads up and just explain it. But for him to retweet that, which what he was doing, you're not dumb. You retweet that, and then all of a sudden you like, oh, well, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Like, okay, well, you kind of interjected yourself into it when you said, oh, I'm not gonna clear his song, and then put out a song with her and was in the video with her. Yeah. But in real life, shooting not included, I mean, I think the way to do it is just stay out of it.
Yeah.
It depends. I think it just definitely depends on again, if it's just like, I don't like her, like, well, why you don't like her? I don't know, I don't like her. Like, it's just, it all depends on, knowing who your friend or family member or business person may be. Now, if it's business, I would say it's different. It gotta be like, if there's something ethically a person has done, then that's like a little bit more clear cut. Like, no, he stole money from me. This is like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's somebody I'm gonna be around. But I think there's just different levels. But again, I think if you're going to be a friend, you just have to check where your loyalty, your alliance lies, and then handle it in a way of knowing and being respectful of who your friend, business partner, associate, or whatever is.
I've been in situations where literally two people that I was close to hated each other. And like, they talk about each other to me, and I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah, now that is different, and that's very hard. Like, you have to stay
I'm like,
in the neutral zone at that point.
Yeah, I'm not gonna react. I'm not gonna respond. I'm not gonna engage. I just change the subject. Because my whole thing is that might be the relationship that y'all have, but I have different relationships with these people. And this is not like, oh, that's my friend and I don't like her and you don't know her. It's not that. It's, I know both of these people very well. And I have personal relationships with them. And in that case, I just stay out of it. I don't get involved at all. And, I tell one, hey, I respect your feelings, but you respect that I know this person. I have a friendship with this person. And I tell the other one the same thing, and I hang out with them separate. I don't talk about any of them. Like, I don't allow it to happen in front of me. I'll just change the subject. It can be hard though.
Yeah. I from even my experience, I feel like I'm like Martin Luther King when it comes to my friends at times.
Not Martin Luther King.
Please come through, MLK. Come through.
Listen, because it really, man, I have friends that have come to blows, and I do understand that it can be forgiveness and everything, no matter how bad the situation is. If that person is still here, it's a way to heal and forgive that person.
Here go Gandhi. Some things are not going to be healed, bruh.
I mean,
some things just need to be left alone.
You can say that in a sense, because I don't like holding on to hate or even waking up feeling like I want to do anything to anybody, even if that person did something to me. And now that's a hard thing to get over. I understand that, but it is time and it's effort on working on that. So, even with my friends, when I hear certain things, when I'm speaking to them separately, I always try to bring peace to the situation, because it's like, dude, you said you want to do this to this person. And it's like, for what at the end of the day? Like, y'all once were that cool. I understand some things got in between y'all to get to this situation, and y'all don't have to be best friends again, but your next move got to be your best move, man. That's it. You shouldn't want to wake up and just feel completely like, hey, I want to do something to somebody, or I feel bad when I think about somebody like that. So that's how usually I try to approach it. I've pieced up a couple friendships that seemed like they was going off the deep end, but at the end of the day, cooler heads prevail. At the end of the day, you're still here. This person is still here, and y'all can live separate lives, but you got to think about what's important. Is going to jail important? I don't think so. So why would you put yourself in a position to do it? Like I said, that don't mean that you even have to be friends with this person, but you will be around this person. I don't like this, I don't like basing my moves off of other people. If I want to show up somewhere, I'll show up somewhere. Even if I have an issue with somebody or somebody has an issue with me, it's better. Like, I'm not going to mean if I have an issue with one of your friends and you invite me to your birthday party, I would feel like a clown not showing up because of somebody else when you're my friend.
Yeah, I'm not like that. Yeah. I'm showing up. Right. No, I don't care who's there. I'm there.
And the way I look at it is, yeah, we don't have to be best friends at all. And I know time and distance equals forgiveness. So it may be some time and it may be some distance. Hey, man, I did.
You gotta listen.
MLK, come through.
You got your robe on today. You real Gandhi-ish. Look, he got the robe on. Where's your incense at?
Listen, I actually got some Palo Santo. Sage little cousin is in here. Palo Santo. I got some of that. But yeah, I'm big on that. It's just really, seeing it to the next level. So that's what I always try to do when it's problems within, my friends or with me and maybe another friend. I would want my friends to do the same thing, not to perpetrate it or not to be like, yo, you might just want to fall. Nah, I understand you got to fall back on some things, but you also got to get through them. You can't let things just completely affect you. So even in the baby situation, yeah, playing both sides like that is probably not the best thing. But maybe you should talk. Yo, Tori, you got to get your stuff together.
He's not mature enough like that. He's not.
And
He's not gonna do that.
He retweeted about shooting somebody and getting away with it. We know he's not that mature.
No, that's not his character. He's gonna add lighting fluid and fire to something. He's not gonna quench it and piece things up. That's not his. From what I gather, that's not his vibe.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Well, thank you for watching. Thank you, Dexter, who apparently is watching on YouTube.
Hey, Dex.
What up, Dex?
He was having issues with his Zoom or whatever. I'm gonna need your Zoom to get it together, Dex.
Reboot that
thing. Computer, man. Update that computer.
Right. So shout out to everybody watching us on YouTube, everyone listening on any of the audio platforms on Pandora, Spotify, Alexa, Amazon, Apple, Google, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you guys for supporting the Mina's House podcast, episode 183. I'm Mina SayWhat.
I'm Shana B.
Yeah, baby. Garnett Briscoe.
Talk to y'all next week, okay? Be nice and polite and don't shoot people.
Don't retweet about shooting people.
Right. Right.
Exactly.
Bye, y'all.